Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Rita Detrick, and I'm the product owner for an application called MilGears, which I'll be walking you through today. On the screen now, you'll see my contact information. After the walkthrough today, if you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to reach out to me at the email address on the screen. MilGears is an online self-assessment tool that guides you through a series of questions about your military training and experience, civilian work history, and education to provide you with a personalized pathway towards career goals. MilGears was built using the information and data held within the Credentialing Opportunities Online or COOL sites. The COOL sites are fantastic resources for learning more about credentialing, as well as information about funding to pursue credentials. The goal for MilGears is to support the COOL sites by offering increased customization for the individual user. If you've never visited COOL, you can do so by navigating to cool.osd.mil. MilGears was originally developed by the Navy, with the first iteration of the site being launched in February of 2020. I'm very happy to share with you that this past May, we were able to expand site functionality to support enlisted personnel across all services, with expanded officer support to come in the next year. MilGears is live now, so if you want to follow along with me, you can visit milgears.osd.mil. The primary tools within MilGears include the Engage My Career tool, the Cyber IT Cybersecurity Workforce tool, the MILD Mariner tool, and Quick Explore. Today we'll be focusing on Quick Explore and Engage My Career because those are the most widely applicable to most people. But if you are interested in a Mariner or cybersecurity career, then I encourage you to also explore these other tools. During our walkthrough today, I'm going to show you the Quick Explore. The Quick Explore is a great way to get started in MilGears. It doesn't require any personal information, and anyone can use it. Once we finish that up, I'm going to walk you through Engage My Career, or EMC. This tool is just a little more involved, but to speed up the process a bit, you can upload your joint service transcript to fill out portions of the tool for you. At the end of EMC, you'll see that you get a range of results to explore. They fall into two general buckets: occupational pathways and credentialing pathways. In the interest of time, I'm going to walk through civilian occupations and certifications. But please be aware that the display of results is similar throughout the tool, so once you become familiar with one kind of result, it shouldn't be too difficult to explore the others. All right, let's get started. I've gone ahead and navigated to the MilGears homepage. As a reminder, you can visit it for yourself and follow along with me by going to milgears.osd.mil. The homepage has been designed to make it as easy as possible to get you where you want to be. If you're a first-time user, you can click Get Started and answer a few simple questions, and it'll direct you to the most relevant tool. You can also scroll down a little bit to see the service member lifecycle. MilGears has been designed to support you wherever you're at in your career. If you click and expand one, it'll show you what tools are most relevant to you at that point in time. Further down, we highlight a variety of users that might be interested in using MilGears. Each one has its own landing page that highlights the tools and how they can use them. And finally, at the bottom, we list the tools out. If you already know what you're looking for, you can simply click into them and get started. All of this information is also available in the menu. I've gone ahead and clicked into Quick Explore. It gives you several ways to quickly find what you're looking for without having to enter a whole bunch of information. The 5 different search options include military occupation, cyber IT CSWF, credentials, career goals, and interests. The military occupation search lets you enter a military occupation of interest and see related credentialing and occupational pathways. This information is going to be similar to what you might find on the COOL site. It doesn't take into consideration any additional roles you may have held or other education you may have obtained. The Cyber IT CSWF Explorer lets you quickly take a look at cybersecurity workforce roles and the qualifications that are required for them. It's a little bit different than our full tool because in our full tool, we'll ask you a number of questions and then let you know how you actually stack up against those qualifications. So this is mostly for informational purposes. When searching by credentials, you'll be able to enter in a credential that you either have obtained or you're interested in obtaining, like a degree program or a certification, and then see what pathways it might lead to. For career goals, you can search by an industry or a career area and see what kind of pathways fall within that area. So as an example, if you knew you wanted to work in construction, you'd be able to see all the construction jobs that we have on MilGears. And then finally, we allow you to search on interest. This is perfect for an individual who has no idea what they might want to do. They can fill out a quick profiler, and at the end of it, they'll get a number of results that hopefully align with those interests. We're not going to go through every Quick Explorer option, but we will dive into a couple here. Let's get started by looking at Explore by Military Occupation. See that you can enter in your branch, your personnel category, your occupation, and your pay grade. Then you can select whether or not you want to look at professional military development, civilian pathways, or federal occupations. Let's get started with professional military development. Here we show certifications, post-secondary education, and apprenticeship options that are related to the military occupation you selected. For certifications, we show whether or not it's been indicated as related to a particular pay grade, whether or not it's stackable, and whether or not it's in demand by industry. We also give you a couple of search options, whether or not it's accredited, the credential type, and if you're looking for a specific agency, we include that as well. And you can also take a look at whether or not it's GI Bill funded. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these. Here you'll see that we show the typical requirements for that credential. We also show, if it's stackable, a certification pathway. Here you see we show that an associate's degree can help you be eligible to sit for this certification, and that this certification can also lead to another certification. So that can help you in planning your path, whatever suits you best in your career goals. For certifications, we will refer you to the COOL site so you can explore your funding options. We also show you related occupations, so that way you can see what kind of occupations the certification might help you break into. We show other related certification if it's a prerequisite or a requisite certification for some, for another credential. And again, you can view that pathway. And we also show related education. If it has any kind of education requirements, we will list that here so you can take a look. Let's go ahead and move on and take a look at post-secondary education. Just like with certifications, you'll see a series of cards. Each one is a degree program that may align with the military occupation that you've selected. On the left-hand side, you'll have a series of filters. This will let you narrow down your results. As an example, if you knew you were more interested in maybe pursuing an associate's degree than a bachelor's degree, you could click on associate's degree, and that would narrow your results down to just those programs that are offered at that award level. You can narrow down further by searching on state. So again, as an example, if you knew you wanted to attend school in California, you could select that and it would narrow your results down a little bit further. From here, if you see a degree program that interests you, you can go ahead and click into it, to learn a little bit more about it. There'll be a short description, as well as the award levels that it's offered at, and some next steps that include taking you to programs or sites that may help you figure out funding. See related occupations and degree locations. Once you click on one of these institutions, it'll go ahead and take you to that institution's page so that you can learn more about the college as well as the specific program that they offer. You're also able to see whether or not that institution has been approved to accept tuition assistance or GI Bill funding. The last option you have here to search on is United Services Military Apprenticeship Program results. This will show what U.S. MAP programs are related to the military occupation that you selected. For right now, let's go ahead and skip U.S. MAP as well as civilian pathways, because the civilian pathways option will be very similar to results I'm about to show you in another Quick Explore option. Let's instead go ahead and click on federal occupations. Here is a list of federal occupational series that are related to the military occupation that you selected. You'll be able to see the series title as well as a short description. If you click the PDF icon, it'll take you to a more detailed description, and if you click on USA Jobs, it'll take you to a pre-populated search so you can see what kind of job openings might be available within that series. This might be relevant to someone who is starting to think about transitioning out and would like to work for the federal government, and similar work to what they were already doing in their military occupation. Let's scroll back up and take a look at another Quick Explore search option. I'm going to click into Credentials. Here you're able to search on degree, certification, apprenticeship, or federal license. Here, apprenticeship means U.S. MAP. Let's go ahead and search on degree. I'm going to enter that I am interested in pursuing a bachelor's in computer science. When I click Show Results, I see all the civilian occupations that are related to that computer science degree. Left-hand side, I'm again able to filter down to reduce the number of results I'm getting. On the cards themselves, you'll see some high-level information, including national average salary, whether or not there's expected to be a lot of growth over the next several years, and whether or not it's expected that there'll be a large number of occupation openings. When you click into one, you're able to learn more about that occupation. There's information like a description, the skills required in that occupation, related military occupations, and related federal occupations, as well as the best states for the job, where there's expected to be the most amount of growth and openings, the related industries, and alternate job titles. So if you were to search for this job on a job board, as an example, these are other titles that you could potentially look for. If you're interested in joining the military or switching your military occupation in order to pursue this type of career, you can use the related military occupations to target similar work in service. Here we also show related certifications, education, skill bridge opportunities, and job openings. Certifications. These certifications are related to the occupation that you're looking at. If you click into one, you'll be able to learn more about it, including the requirements, as well as links out to the agency website. Under Education, you'll be able to see the degree programs that are related to that occupation, and when you select one, you'll be able to see where that degree program is offered at. SkillBridge Opportunity shows SkillBridge opportunities that are related to the occupation again. These fall more broadly in related job families, so they might not be direct one-for-one, but they fall within that same general career area. And when you click into one, you'll be able to go to the SkillBridge site to learn more about pursuing those types of opportunities. And job openings will let you search on zip code and show you job openings from across the country that align with, in this case, computer and information system managers. Similar results will populate for certification or apprenticeship or federal license. This is a good way to explore what a certain type of credential might get you should you choose to pursue it. I think I mentioned earlier that we're not going to go through each Quick Explorer option in detail. Before we transition over to Engage My Career, I do just want to highlight a couple of extra things for you. First, under Career Goals, you're able to both search military occupations, federal occupations, and civilian occupations. For military occupations, you're able to search on an occupational area, such as culinary services, and then you'll see all the related military occupations across services. So this might be good for someone who's interested in joining and wants to see what military occupations might align with their big picture goals. Occupations, you're able to select an occupational group, such as accounting, and see all the job series within that group. You see that this is in a card format, unlike the grid format I showed you under Explore by MOC. And then civilian occupations lets you search on job family, industry, or cluster. If you click this question mark, you'll be able to see a description of what those terms mean. You can also search on keyword. And from here, you'll see that the format's pretty similar to what you've seen before. If you want, in any of these search results screens, you'll also be able to compare results. That just gives you a side-by-side comparison in case you're not sure which one you want to dive into. I also want to bring our interest profiler to your attention. This is a great tool for someone who isn't really sure what they want to do. It asks just a few questions on work style and work activity, such as this first one, which asks if you would prefer a physical work style. And you just indicate if you're interested, neutral or not interested, and click Next, and it'll guide you through the form. And at the end of it, it'll show you occupational pathways that align with those interests. So the only one I haven't shown you is the cybersecurity workforce. I think I mentioned earlier that this is just a little different from our main tool because it's not customized to your individual information. But if you're to click on it, you'll be able to drill down into these work roles to learn more about the qualifications. Now that we've taken a look at Quick Explore, we can go ahead and move on to Engage My Career. To do that, I'm going to go up to the menu bar, click on Tools, and select Engage My Career. When you first visit Engage My Career, you get the option to go through a quick tutorial. The tutorial will walk you through each of the sections, and explain what you'll be asked within each section. At any time, you can bring the tutorial back up by clicking the tutorial button on the right-hand side of the screen. The first page in Engage My Career explains the steps that you'll go through. You'll start by uploading a document if you have one available. Then you'll click through the tool and update and review each section. And then you'll be able to take a look at your results and see the pathways that are available to you. We accept a number of records, and if you have more than one, you are welcome to upload all of them. This should fill out more of the tool for you, so you don't have to hand enter quite as much. But you're also welcome to just go through and type in each section. So let's get started. Here it asks you if what branch you are affiliated with. I'm going to go in as a soldier. Then it gives me the option to upload documents. I'm going to go ahead and upload a JST, or Joint Service Transcript. It uploaded successfully, so I'm able to continue through the tool. If you're not sure how to access any of these records, we do offer guidance. One thing I do want to note is that we do not currently have login functionality. We also do not store any of your information on our servers. This is to protect your privacy. However, we do know that this takes a few minutes to fill out, and it might be inconvenient to have to fill it out again each time you visit. So we do offer you the option of saving your progress. This will have you create what we call a session file. You'll be asked to create a password for it, and then download it to your computer. This belongs to you and you alone. We are not storing it on our end, and we do not have access to it. What it does is it lets you come back, and when you get to this page, you can upload that same session file, enter your password, and then continue through the site, and everything that you had already entered will already be filled in for you. This will allow you to pick up where you left off if you don't have time to finish, or maybe update something that's changed so you can see how it affects your results. Let's go ahead and start clicking through. We do give you a section where you can enter personal information. This will apply to your learning and employment record at the end. You're also able to enter whether or not you have any dependents. This is used to calculate military salary, as well as any language skills that you may have. Here you're able to enter your military service history. Because I uploaded that document, a portion of this is already filled in for me. I can click the row and click Edit if I want to change anything here. I click Update to save the row. If I've served in more than one service, I can click this drop down here and select an additional service. That'll add a table where I can then add my service history relevant to that branch. I can also remove it by unchecking it. If I want to add additional rows, I can simply click Add. I can also click Cancel to undo that. Down below that military experience, I can also fill in any civilian occupational history or federal occupational history. This might be particularly relevant to reservists using the tool, or perhaps veterans who have already transitioned out. And really even military spouses and family members can use the tool. They can just leave the service history blank and fill out their civilian occupational history and their federal occupational history if they have any. And here the grid works in much the same way. They can click to add a row. They can also cancel or delete a row if they entered one by mistake. As you go through, as you enter information, you can select to save progress. If you've already created that initial save file and password, this will just download an updated version of that automatically to your computer to wherever you selected to save it. Let's go ahead and click Next. We also ask for military training courses. This type of information, in addition to your military occupation, lets us really begin to create those more customized pathways, where what you'll see on other sites, including the cool sites, is more of a straight military occupation crosswalk. As we begin to look at these other elements of things you've done, your experiences, your training, we're able to take them into consideration. As I'm sure everyone is aware, what your military occupation is on paper may not be the only thing you do while you're in service. It may not reflect what you've specialized in or what you've spent much of your career doing. An easy example of that might be if you served in recruiting duty for a while. That might not produce results that are the same as what your military occupation code would return. So all of this has been parsed from that joint service transcript. So it means less of a lift for you as you're entering in your information. We do do an autocomplete here. So if you did not have your documentation handy, you could begin to type a course name, and that would populate some results that you can then select from. As a soldier, you'd also be able to enter any related ASI or SQIs that you've obtained. This is a little different for each service, but again, that helps us dig into what kind of roles that you have served in and create those pathways for you. Once you filled out all your military training, you'll then be able to begin entering civilian credentials. So besides clicking Next, if you want to skip a section entirely, you're also able to navigate by clicking up here. So besides skipping, it also lets you revisit a section. If you perhaps forgot to fill something out, or you just wanted to add something in extra, you can jump back to career experience as an example, update that, and then continue on. For civilian credentials, we let you enter post-secondary education, certifications, licenses, and apprenticeship. In this case, this individual hasn't completed any of that yet. This is information that often is included on the joint service transcript. That it's not here means that they haven't done that yet. So we'll go ahead and leave it blank, leave it as realistic as possible, and we'll go to the review page. Here is the basis for what is going to become a military learning and employment record. A LER is something that is meant to serve as a basis for a digital record that you can share out wherever you want. The goal is to allow you to own and control your data. You're able to download a physical copy of it as well. The information on this can potentially serve as a basis for a resume or other paperwork that you might be filling out. Here you're able to review the information that you've entered. And where available, we try to add additional information. So in this case, for the Army courses that were entered, we're able to indicate that they have ACE recommendations. And if they expand that course, they're able to see what those credit recommendations are. So for basic combat training, they're able to see that that is 2 semester hours in first aid and CPR, 1 in land navigation, 1 in physical fitness, and 1 in self-defense, as well as 1 in marksmanship. Now that we've entered all of the information into Engage My Career, we can scroll back up and click Select My Path. This will take us to our results. And you'll see, like I mentioned earlier, there's 2 buckets, occupations and credentials. But before we click into that, I just want to highlight this navigation bar. Select My Path is where you're at now. If you want to return to the Engage My Career input screens, you can click My LER. This will take you back to that review screen we were just on. You can also select My MOC. Some high-level information about your current military occupation, including information about pay, a role description, and military benefits. This information is handy to know as you're looking at other types of occupations. Click Select My Path again, and we're right back at the results. Start by looking at occupations. There are 3 types of occupation results that you can take a look at, starting with military occupations, then civilian occupations, and federal occupations. Military occupations, you'll be able to look at occupations across the branches that relate to the job you're doing now. If you're interested in maybe switching services, this could be a good way to start your research. You can narrow it down by service, personnel category, or a subclassification. So as an example, you might want to look at occupations related to ground transportation. That'll narrow that down for you. Take a look at federal occupations. Like you saw earlier in the Quick Explore for career goals, here we show these cards. You can narrow down by the occupation group, so perhaps you're interested in supply. That'll narrow it down to the federal occupational series that fall within that supply group. And then you're able to click into one to learn more about it. You'll get that description as well as that link to more details and to USA Jobs. You're also able to look at related certifications, related civilian occupations, and related education. Now let's take a closer look at civilian occupations. The occupations that show up here are not related simply to your military occupation, but to all of the information you entered. So if you had entered civilian occupations that you've held, trainings, an ASI, post-secondary education, like an associate's degree, all of that would be taken into consideration to show you these results. What's different between here and what you saw in the Quick Explore are these stars, which show you how closely you align with the basic requirements for an occupation. A green star means you meet all the requirements. A yellow star means you meet some of them, but not all. While a red star means you don't meet any of the requirements. That might mean you took a related training, but you haven't really had enough training to meet one of the requirements, or you don't have enough experience in it. We still want to show it to you as an option. You just might have further to go to meet those baseline requirements. So we'll go ahead and click into one. And you'll see here that there's an additional tab compared to what you saw in Quick Explore, how I stack up. Here we check off what you have compared against the typical requirements for you. So in this case, have related training, you have related experience, but there's a gap in education. We also let you know that this occupation may require a state license and refer you to a site where you can learn more about license requirements. Now in this case, because there's a gap in education, the first place you might want to go is the Education tab. There you can take a look at the related degree programs, and like you were able to with Quick Explore, you can click into one and see where those programs might be offered at. You're also able to take a look at related certifications. Here, one of the main differences between what you saw in Quick Explore is, again, with certification, we have those star icons because we do compare you against those requirements for the certification. And we also let you know if any of the certifications related to this occupation are also related to your military occupation. So in this case, there's one certification that's both aligned with your current military occupation as well as the civilian occupation that you're taking a look at. And here are the SkillBridge results, as well as the job opening search, are going to reflect what you've already seen. Before we wrap up here today, let's go ahead and take a look at that credentials bucket. Here we show 3 types of results again: certifications and licenses, degree programs, and apprenticeships. Like earlier, apprenticeships refer to U.S. MAP programs that will be available to you based on your current military occupation. The degree programs here would not be aligned only to your military occupation, but as well as some of the civilian occupations that you match to. So you might have a bit of variance here between what you would see here and what you might have seen in Quick Explore. And again, we have those same filter options though, so you can narrow it down based on the next step in your educational pathway. So again, maybe now you're interested in pursuing a master's degree, and maybe you're interested in going to school in Colorado. That narrows it down for you to 30 results. You can take a look and click in to learn more about that program. For certifications and licenses, like you saw under occupations, we've gone ahead and added those stars. And you can narrow it down to just certifications where you meet all the requirements, or if you're interested in GI Bill funding, you can narrow it down that way, or perhaps only those that are related to your military occupation. From there, you're able to click into it. And you're able to see how you compare against those minimum requirements. In this case, this certification had a yellow star, which meant that they're missing some of the requirements. And you can see here that the minimum requirement for this certification is an associate's degree or something similar, while this individual has not completed anything beyond high school at this point. So maybe they're really set on this certification. They can click into that related education and take a look at the majors related to that credential, as well as, again, looking at related occupations or other related certifications for this certification that they're interested in. And that's it. That is a high-level overview of the MilGears application. Again, you are able to visit it at milgears.osd.mil. And if you have any questions after this demonstration, please feel free to reach out to me at any time at rita.detrick@solidinfodesign.com.